Tea was supposed to be just another smooth night of late-night television, a celebrity guest, a few laughs, and a clip to promote. But what the audience witnessed instead was an unfiltered collision between two vastly different men. One, a seasoned host who thrives on punchlines, and the other, a no-frills actor who doesn't entertain facades. The evening began without a hitch. Sean Penn walked onto the stage of Jimmy Kimmel Live, welcomed by cheers and bright studio lights. He was there to discuss his latest documentary, poised to dive into meaningful territory. On the surface, everything looked typical. Crowd applause, lights, and Kimmel's familiar smirk. But under it all, there was an uneasy energy, like calm skies hiding a distant storm. Kimmel jumped into the banter early. "So, Sean," he said with an easy tone that carried a subtle jab, "ever think about taking a break from all the serious stuff? Maybe just relax a little?" Penn's expression stayed composed, but his gaze sharpened. "Finding purpose doesn't mean losing joy," he replied steadily. "But yeah, I prefer meaning to noise." The audience quieted, the mood shifting, ever so slightly. Kimmel let out a laugh, one that felt more strained than sincere. "People say you're hard to work with," he continued. "Any clue why that is?" Penn's smile was slight, but cutting. "Probably the same reason some confuse reading cue cards with asking real questions." That laugh track faded. Kimmel looked momentarily thrown. The conversation had veered into unexpected territory. "So this is how it's going to go?" Kimmel leaned forward. "You've stormed off sets, punched reporters, grabbed headlines for the wrong reasons. You don't see that as a problem?" "The problem," Penn answered calmly, "is mistaking conflict for character. I confront what needs confronting. If that doesn't fit the script of entertainment, so be it." Kimmel shrugged. "This is a talk show, Sean. Lighten up. It's supposed to be fun." "And that's exactly the issue," Penn replied, his tone simmering. "You treat serious issues like setup lines. I've been in refugee camps with children who've lost everything. Meanwhile, you crack jokes while the world burns." A rare hush fell over the studio, uncertain, electric. Kimmel's smile faltered. "So now comedy's the enemy?" he asked. "Are we supposed to feel guilty for laughing?" "No," Penn said, "but maybe you should feel something." The tension wasn't just felt. It could be seen. Faces in the crowd stiffened. Camera operators hesitated mid-zoom, unsure whether this was still a show or something else entirely. Trying to steer things back, Kimmel tossed a barb. "You act like making a documentary makes you some kind of hero." Penn straightened, not just in posture, but in purpose. "At least I'm not cashing checks mocking things that matter." Kimmel's voice rose. "You don't get to come on here and play the moral high card." "I didn't play anything," Penn answered. "You built this up for a takedown and got rattled when I didn't play along." The air was thick now with clashing values: ego, integrity, spectacle. The easy rhythm of late-night talk was gone, replaced by a standoff. "You came here to pick a fight," Kimmel accused. "I came expecting decency," Penn said. "Instead, you chased ratings." Phones began rising from laps, screens glowing in the dark. Kimmel tensed. "Turn those off. This is a closed set." Penn didn't blink. "Let them roll. Let people see what honesty actually looks like." What had started awkward was now historic. A rare live rupture. This wasn't merely two people disagreeing. It was entertainment clashing with ethics, comedy facing conscience. "You think I don't care," Kimmel snapped. "I think you forgot how to care," Penn replied coldly. Security edged into view. Kimmel waved them back, but the moment was already out of his control. "Your job is to entertain," Penn said. "But when entertainment replaces awareness, it becomes distraction. That's what you sell. Comfort instead of clarity." I help people escape their problems, Kimmel said defensively. And that's the problem, Penn shot back. The audience remained frozen, not even whispering. Some looked bewildered, others transfixed. This was no longer a show. It was a confrontation with deeper questions. Security? Kimmel said quietly. Penn turned to the crowd. This is what happens when you speak unscripted truth, when you refuse to shrink into a soundbite. You hijacked my show, Kimmel growled. I just answered your questions, Penn replied. That's not hijacking. That's what conversation used to be. Maybe you forgot. As security approached, Penn stood firm. You could have had something real tonight, he said. You went for theater, Kimmel snapped. You went for martyrdom. No, Penn said, walking toward the wings. I went for truth. You just weren't ready. He left without a mic drop, just a final glance into the camera, as if inviting viewers to question what they just saw. Kimmel remained on stage, stunned. The script lay in tatters. The laughs had vanished. What lingered was something rarely seen in Hollywood. Silence. Later, the footage would go viral, analyzed, applauded, criticized. But no matter the opinion, one thing was undeniable. This wasn't an interview, it was an exposure, and the gloss of showbiz had never looked so thin.